Hello my friends, thanks for joining me for the August edition of Hashtag Swap and Sew. It is a collaboration hosted by myself and my wonderful friend Carol at Carol's Recrafted Boutique. As you can see, I have two journals here on my table. The first month I worked exclusively with the fabrics given to me by Carol at Carol's Recrafted Boutique. But this month, I am working with some items from Carol, just a few pieces, a bunch of items from Caramia's Corner, and I have used some beautiful items from the Healing Force of Art. These have been great fun to make, but I just wanted to mention that the only glue used on the journals is on the outside and everything on the inside is sewn. And I kind of made a rule that I truly wanted this to be about the swap and sew, and that's why I didn't want to use glue, and I wouldn't have on the cover if I would have had the foresight to go ahead and decorate the cover before I sewed the signatures in, but I didn't, so that's okay. So the only glue is right here and right here. So let's take a look. You can see that the tie has been sewn on. This fabric that I used on the cover of both of these was given to me by my friend Pam at Pamela's Creations. So when we open it up, and I wanted this to be a journal that you could write in even though it's made of fabric, and I really struggled with myself to decide, do I want all fabric and no paper at all? But then I thought, well, then how can you journal on it? Well, I could have done just pockets and you could have stuffed paper in pockets, and I did do some of that. But I did end up sewing some paper into the journal. And my rule for myself was that if I put paper in, it had to have fabric on it. So, for example, this little cascade here has fabric over top of it. That has been sewn in. The paper has been sewn in. Again, no glue. So that was just some rules that I made for myself to keep it sort of, for me, authentic to the collaboration. But again, those are my personal rules. If you're creating a journal, you do it your way. If you're using fabric that somebody gave you, that's great. There's really no hard rules here. I just wanted to make them. I just wanted to make these for myself to kind of force myself into a situation where I had to use my creativity in a new way. So I guess that sums the whole thing up. So this yellow and white polka dot, I can't remember if I bought this or if that was given to me. I'm not quite sure. But the pages are made from the fabrics that Caramia's Corner gave me, the Healing Force of Art gave me, and also Carol's Recrafted Boutique gave me. So the one surprise that you're going to find in this journal is that I used a little bit of Curious George, but he's hiding in the journal. So like you have to, flip it to find him here. And I love Curious George, and just the brightness and happiness of George I felt like went with the colors in this journal, and so that's why it was like this last minute thing that I did. I just grabbed the book and I just started using it, and it was kind of spur of the moment, but I'm happy that I did. It makes it a lot of fun. So here we have this paper and George, and they've been sewn in. This is a belly band, and this particular piece was given to me by Kim at the Healing Force of Art. This tag, I added some fabric to it. I sewed that right on there. Oh, and because I didn't end up using all of the book pages from Curious George, at the last thing I did was stuff some pages in here, and I didn't put fabric on them. They were just simply leftover pages that I thought somebody could turn into journaling space if they wanted to. So that is the one thing that doesn't have fabric on it, are those leftover pages. Another thing I'll tell you about the construction, and I'll get to that in just a second, but I have to show you this. Another belly band, and then this little flip-flop was given to me about 1.5 years ago, and it was given to me from some friends from a birthday party that they had. I've been holding on to it and holding on to it, and I turned it into something that you can write on, and I just thought it was so cute and so colorful, and I think it works in here. And then of course a little Curious George page. So I wanted to tell you about some of the pages in here. Well, actually, I did a video sort of showing you how I made these pages, but some of them have like a little thin foam in between, so this book is so squishy and wonderful. And then some of them just have some canvas in between. So this is what we would call a fabric flip, and we just have some paper underneath. The two pages, I should say the two sides of the pages have been sewn together, and you can see the zigzag stitch right here. And then this is the other side, the zigzag stitch. This piece was given to me by Karamia's Corner, and this was given to me by Pam at Pamela's Creations. Here's another fabric flip. I didn't worry about precision. I wanted this journal to be about fun, color, creativity, not holding back, just allowing myself to create and, you know, feel joy in creating it. This pattern was given to me by Karamia's Corner, and this one I believe was from the Healing Force of Art. So this I had in my stash, added some fabric to it. So here's a nice little pocket that I sewed in, and then a little little tag that I turned into a journaling tag. Actually, it was a card that I turned into a journaling tag. Here we have another belly band. Love the fabrics that you guys sent to me. Thank you so much. They have been so fun to work with and to put together. Like on this page is a perfect example that this was sent to me by Karamia's Corner, and both of these were sent to me by the Healing Force of Art, and yet they work together. How fun is that? So here's our little dangles. Kim at the Healing Force of Art, she gave me some beads and some buttons, and so I made little dangles out of them. All right, this is so cute. We have fries before guys. And then cute little Curious George. Another fabric flip. Some of my music coffee dyed paper, but they're also spritzed with some paint. And this is some dyed paper I made not too long ago. Here's another fabric flip. I just love all the colors and textures in this journal. A nice little pocket that I made. I had this paper and it says incredible, spectacular, fantastic, and I glued that onto some cardstock here. It's a nice little card that I made, and I sewed this little piece of fabric. I actually did glue, I'm looking to see if I glued this flower, and I'm pretty sure that I did glue the flower. So that's the one thing of glue inside of the journal. And we have a little paper flip here with a little bit of fabric stitched on top. And this is the last page. All right, friends, let's have a look at this one. So as you can see, this one has a beautiful pink flower and pink lace on top. And we have this pink sash here, and all of that was given to me by Kim of the Healing Force of Art. And actually, she gave me this too. This is a really cool piece of crochet on this metal, which could have been made into an earring, but I turned it into a tassel of sorts. I wasn't very graceful about untying that. Sorry, everybody. All right, so here we go. This was given to me by Caramia's Corner. Don't you love the pattern? Oh, and all the little princess ones, those were given to me by Caramia's Corner too. This is a little fabric flip. And here's a little pocket. And I just put some nice bright pink paper in it and added a little fabric on top. This is some fruit fabric that I found at the thrift store. I did add a little bit of some fabrics that I had, not much, but just a little bit to make a page layout work. This was given to me by Kim. Oh, and this purple here, the purple check, that was given to me by Carol of Carol's Recrafted Boutique. So was this green, and this lemon actually, that was given to me by Carol as well. This is just so cute, I think. Look at the pretty bead dangles I made for the center. And these were all pretty beads and buttons that were given to me by Kim. Love them so much. I really enjoyed making these bead dangles sort of elaborate. You can see sort of if I hold it this way the thickness of the pages because there's some like cushy stuff inside. It just, this book feels, they both feel so good and like squishy, and there's just, they feel really nice. And yet there's like this smoothness to it, like it would be very easy to write on this because there's nothing lumpy underneath it. It's very smooth, very straight. I have to tell you guys, as I'm showing you all of this goodness, how much fun I had making these fabric journals, and I will tell you it will not be my last. I absolutely just had so much fun, really and truly. Here's the only corner pocket that I put in the whole thing. I don't know why I didn't do more corner pockets, but I sewed it right on there. It worked out just fine. This is the last page, and this is a little fabric flip. I want to thank Carol at Carol's Recrafted Boutique for co-hosting this with me. I want to thank Clarissa from Caramia's Corner for sending me such wonderful fabrics. I want to thank Kim from The Healing Force of Art for sending me not only wonderful fabrics, but these just delicious things, all of these to just play with and have fun with. It was just such a joy to create with all of this goodness that everybody sent. I absolutely loved it.
Now that you've seen inside of the journals, I'd like to show you how I put them together. The first thing that I did was take two pieces of fabric and I cut them to be the same size. And then in between the two pieces of fabric, I sandwiched either a piece of thick canvas or a piece of very thin foam. I didn't want the foam or the canvas to slide around or move around, so I used a little bit of glue stick to just hold the foam in place on top of the fabric until I got it sewn together. Using the glue stick in this way is quicker than pinning the fabrics together and then removing the pins. And I never use enough that it would ever seep through the fabric or anything like that. You can't even tell that I did that. It's truly to just temporarily stabilize the fabrics until the sewing is done.
This was given to me by Kim. We exchanged fabrics for swap and sew. And I'm going to go ahead and put this, I chose this to be the cover because it's the longest piece, and because the journal will be so chunky, I needed the longest piece as the cover. Because you know how like when you put things inside it doesn't shrink, but it kind of looks like it does. So we're going to go ahead and sew this on. And I was kind of looking at it, and I'm thinking I might go ahead and twist it like this just so it looks just, you know, a little scrunched up. It gives it a little textural look. I have the pages layered the way that I want them. I'm going to go ahead and make our first pocket. I'm going to double up on the fabric. I've folded it here, and now I'm going to cut it to the length of the page. And then I'm going to sew that on. All right, so I just wanted to show it to you. Here is, oops. Is this blurry? Is my camera being blurry? I hope not. Anyway, oops, there we go. Here's our first pocket. So I'm going to go through and sew some pockets and maybe belly bands. I don't know if these pages have enough room for belly bands, so maybe just some side pockets. Well, that is a side pocket, so. Kim gave me this piece of fabric, and I thought what I would do is take a page and set the fabric up here, and then I can sew it at the top and sew it at the bottom, but that way I'm just sewing it once. So as long as I make sure it's straight so that it looks okay. And this journal is a little wonky anyway because it's made out of fabric, so it's not precision like paper, but that's what I'm going to do. I like it. I'm going to do that. And then that way, I'm not sewing through the same areas several times, like front and back. I hope that makes sense to you. I will have all the information about this open collaboration in my description box. If you want to join in, we would love it. You just have to pick somebody to swap fabrics with, and then you create something with the fabrics they gave you, and they create something with the fabrics that you gave them. So yeah, hashtag swap and sew. If you want to participate in October, just put a comment in either my or Carol's community section. We both have posts in there about signing up. It's been great fun. I hope you have enjoyed seeing these journals. They will both be listed in my Etsy shop. And as always, you guys, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. See you soon.